Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, I have shown you how to create this message model class and how to create this chat adapter. So if you have not watched that video, then just go to description there. I put the link for my previous video, or you can simply do one thing, just click on the suggestion on the right side of the screen. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you when we send a message from here, how this message is being sent and how this message is being stored in our Firebase database and how to show these messages over here. Okay, and I'm also going to show you how to set this time over here and how to delete this particular message. When we long press on the message, here you can see the option, are you sure you want to delete? Yes and no. If I click on yes, it will delete a message from the database and this message will not be visible over here. So let's start with that. So this is a complete app, that's why everything is working. If I open my BD chat on which we are working, if we click on this one, here you can see this, we don't have any GUI anything over here, and if I click on this and click on send, nothing happens for now. Okay, so we are going to start designing this much. So just minimize it, and first thing we have to move to this chat detail activity. Here just move back below this binding back arrow. So these much part of code we have already done in our previous videos, so make sure you watch every video. Okay, after this, first thing what we have to do is we have to create two variables. First one is of array list and one is for chat adapter. So final, and I'm going to create this array list, and this is of type message model, and I'm going to name this one message models is equal to new, and I'm going to create this array list. Okay, so now our array list is created. After this, I'm going to create a chat adapter that is also a final type so that we can use it anywhere. So chat adapter, and it will be chat adapter is equal to new chat adapter. Inside this one, I'm going to pass this message models, comma this, and the third one we are going to pass the receiver ID. So we already have this ID over here, so I'm going to simply pass this. So when I pass it, it will show an error over here because in our chat adapter class, we have only constructor of which accept two arguments, that is this one and this one. It doesn't accept the third argument. Okay, so if we move back inside this one, here you can see this, we have these three argument constructor that is for different type, and this is two argument constructor which accepts two string types. So here I'm going to create one or another variable that is a string receiver ID, and here what we have to do is we have to just create a constructor. So alt and click on insert, click on constructor, and we have to create a constructor that will be string. Okay, so we don't need to actually create it over here. Let me just cut it and just leave it as it is. We have to actually make modification in this one, chat adapter, and set this one we have to create a receiver ID. After this we have to create, because we are going to actually pass this in the chat adapter. Here you can see this, we are actually passing this values, three values in the chat adapter. So we have to create the variable constructor over here. So if I click on alt and insert, now we can create a constructor. By mistake I went into this message model. So first thing this one, second is context, and third is receiver ID. And if I click on OK, it will create a constructor, and now the issue is resolved. Okay, after this what we have to do is we have to just start binding first to the chat recycler view dot set adapter, and inside this one we have to set the adapter, and the adapter is chat adapter. So where we have to bind the views in the chat recycler view, if I press the CTRL key and click on this one, it will move to our chat underscore detail activity XML file. Inside this one, for this recycler view, then ID for this one is chat recycler view. So in this recycler view, we are going to bind the views. So I move back over here, and here you can see this, I have written the same stuff. After this we have created the linear layout manager object. So linear layout manager, it will be layout manager is equal to new linear layout manager. Inside this one we have to pass this. This will be the context. After this we have to bind this layout manager with the recycler view. So chat recycle binding dot chat recycler view dot set layout manager, and inside this one we have to pass this layout manager. Now we have set this one. Okay, after this we need to create two variables, that is for sender room and another is for receiver room. So I'm going to create the two variables. So final, and it will be of a string type, string sender room is equal to sender ID plus receiver ID, and another is for final of a string type, that is for receiver room, it will be receiver ID plus sender ID. This is used to identify which user is the sender and which one is the receiver. After this, we have to perform a click operation on this send button on this image view. Okay, so the ID for this one is send. So if I move back over here, and here we have to create the variable, the click listener on that one. So binding dot send dot set on click listener, and say this one we have to write new view on click listener. If I click on this, automatically method is over here. Okay, so on click method is override. So first thing what we have to do is we have to extract the message from that this particular text field or edit text. Okay, so for that we need to store that in a variable. So string message is equal to binding dot, and the edit text name is enter message. So if I move back over here, click on this, the ID for this one is enter message. Move back over here and the same stuff is over here. And from this we need to extract the text. So get text and convert this one to string. After this, I'm going to create a final variable of message model. So message model is equal to new message model. Inside this one we have to pass the sender ID and we have to pass the message. Okay, after this we need to put the timestamp. So model dot set timestamp, and we have to pass new date dot get time. With the help of this timestamp, whenever we are going to extract this timestamp and convert it back to the time, and we are going to set this with the message, that when this message is being sent or when this particular message is received. Okay, after this we have to clear the edit text. So binding dot enter message dot set text, I'm going to set the null over here. So now if I restart the application and move back over here, so this is our app, it's being Gradle build is running and it will restart our application. For now, if I click on something and click on this, nothing happens, but once it will be reinstalled and we will see what will happen when I click on that particular button. If I click on this and if I click ABC and click on this, this will clear our text because we have set a click listener on this. First, the text from this one is being extracted and being stored in the message, but it's not being used or not being stored in the Firebase for now. At last, we are actually clearing the fields. So this one part is working fine. After this, we have to store this in the database. For that, we need a database reference. So we have already created one Firebase database and we have initialized it over here. Actually, we got the instance for this one. After this, we have to just get reference dot child, and inside this we are going to create a new child, that is chats. We are done with the users. If I move back to the Firebase, here you can see this, we have only one node, that is of users. It actually stored all the user data. So now I'm going to create another node that same like this one, that is of users, that is of chats. Okay, so that's what I have given it in the name over here. You can name anything else if you want. After this, I'm going to set dot child, it will be sender room dot push, it will put the message dot set value, and we have to set the value. So where we have the value in the model. After this, we have to set a add on success listener like this one, and new on success listener, and it will create an override method over here on success. On success, I want to show database dot get reference dot child, and said this one we have to go into the chats dot child receiver room. We have to store the message for both sender and for receiver. If sender deletes the message needs to be still at the receiver end. So that's why we are going to create the two copy. One is for sender and one is for receiver. Dot set value, and we have to pass model again. Dot add on success listener and new on success listener, and say this one we don't need to perform any operation. It's showing an error. Just click on this and click on this, and you can also show a toast message. That message is sent successfully. So what we did is, first, if a sender send a message, then it needs to be stored into a separate node for sender, and that same message needs to be stored at the receiver end also, so that we can uniquely identify which message is being sent and which message is received. So I'm going to restart the application and move back to the Firebase. So installation is done. Here you can see this, our app is open. If I move back into this one and click on ABCD, and I'm going to just click on hey, how are you, and question mark, and click on send, and here you can see this new node is created, chats. If I open this, here we see this, we have two nodes, and if I expand it, and here you can see this, there are two times hey, how are you is stored. One is for the sender and one is for the receiver. That's why we are going to identify that which one is sender and which one is receiver. Okay, so this is the ID at the both end. Okay, these IDs are different. Here you can see this, one is for sender and one is for receiver. Okay, so now you understand that what exactly is going on over here. So now we have actually stored our message in this one. Next thing what we have to do is we have to fetch this message and show these message over here in the different views. We will need to filter that which message is sent and which message is received at the receiver end. So if I move back over here and make some space over here, and first thing what we have to do is we have to create, we already have the database instance. So database dot get reference dot child, and from where we need this, from chats, and dot child, and here we have to pass the sender room dot add value event listener new value event listener, and we got these two methods. So I want to remove this, and we need to remove this one also. Okay, so you must be worried that from where I got this ID. This ID is combination of both of these IDs, the sum of this and the sum of this one, and this one. Okay, you can observe that over here. This is the ID. If I move back to the authentication, and here we can see this, the user ID, LXY, and another is SUM. If I move back into this one, yeah, here you can see this, these are the two unique IDs. This is the sender and this is the receiver. So we got the combination of these two. If I move back over here, and here you can see this, we have created a new unique ID by sender ID plus receiver ID, and in the reverse case we have created a unique ID. Okay, so that's why we are going to actually filter the data, and we have to actually create the ID over here. I'm talking about this ID, this one. This is the long ID, which is a combination of two UIDs. First is sender, receiver, and this one is receiver, and then the sender. If you match it, you will find it similar. Now move back into this one, and here we have to just put a semicolon because it's showing an error. Okay, in this on data change, here first we need to clear the message models dot clear. After this, I'm going to create a use of advanced for loop. So data snapshot 1 colon snapshot dot get children. After this, we need to create a message model is equal to snapshot 1 dot get values, and we need the message model dot class. After this, we need to create this model dot set message ID snapshot 1 dot get key and message models dot add, and we have to pass this model. Okay, after this we need to inform our chat adapter that the data is changed. So for that we have to simply write chat adapter dot notify dataset changed. After this, our task is done. If I restart the application, and I'm going to restart the same app in this one, that is another emulator. So click on this, it will start one more emulator for me. I have sent a message to ABCD. Okay, so we need to log in abcd@gmail.com and the password will be 123456. Sign in. Please wait validation. Okay, so something is wrong. If I move back into this one, authentication, this is abcdd. Okay, so let me check the password for that one. Users. Okay, abcdd. I'm going to change this one also, the username. So move back into this one, not this one, this app actually, abcdd, and just sign in. And here you can see this. Now the message for this one name is also changed and we are logged in as ABC. So if I click on this and here you can see this, okay, we got something wrong. Okay, this is the ID which is being shown. Okay, wait for a minute. Let me fix this. Actually, we did a small mistake over here when we are actually fetching the data or the messages from our Firebase database and being shown over here. Here you can see this model.set message. I have written the set message, but we have to set the message ID. So if I type ID and in this chat detail activity, you have to make a small change. Just change this one to ID. If I restart the application, I'm going to select this EVD manager and not this one. Just I'm going to stop this first and select multiple devices. Select these two, click on this one and click on this. For now, if I move back here, you can see this, it's showing the ID over here. But if I restart the application and it's being restart, Gradle build is running. Installation, and installation is done. Now if I open it ABC and ABCDD, here you can see this. Now this the text whatever we send is shown over here. When I type this chat data adapter dot notify dataset change, it will notify immediately whenever we send the text. Yes, if I type yes and click on send, here you can see this yes and yes is received. So here you can see this. Now the text is being set whenever we send the message. And the sender side, it will be on the right side in the light green box, and this is the receiver field. Okay, so here you can see this one is working fine. Next thing what I want is when I long press on this, it will show a delete pop-up and it will ask me to delete the text if I want. If I click on yes, then only it will delete the text. For that, we have to move into this one, that is the chat adapter, and here we have to move inside this one, that is on bind view holder, and here make some space. Here we have to type holder dot item view dot set on click listener, set on long click listener. Inside this one we have to pass new view on click listener, and here it will show a message like this, return false by default. So we're going to leave it and make some space over here. Here first thing what I have to do is I have to show a alert dialog box. So new alert dialog, and I'm going to build it. So builder, and I'm going to pass the context inside this one dot set title. I'm going to set a title delete. After this I'm going to set a message, set message, which will be shown to the user. Are you sure you want to delete this message? Like this one. After this we have to set positive button, and set this one we have to type yes, and it will be new dialog interface dot on click listener, and here we want to delete this one. Okay, and we also have to set a negative button. So dot set negative button, and set this one, we will name this one no. And whenever a user click on this new dialog interface, and here just I want to dismiss the dialog dot dismiss whenever user click on this. So before we code anything inside this one, let's check if this pop-up is visible or not. That is a dialog. So if I move back into this one, and now Gradle build is running, installation is done, and it will open our app. So if I move back into this one and click on this, and if I long press on this, okay, it's not working. Let me just close it and restart the application. WhatsApp, where it is, BD chat. So click on this one and open it. Long press on this. Okay, we are having some sort of issue. Okay, let me check this. Just to minimize it. We actually missed one small stuff over here. So inside this one, we have to simply show this dialog, then it will be visible. So if I restart the application and move back into this one, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on this and long press on this, and here you can see this delete. Are you sure you want to delete this? If I click on yes, nothing. If I click on yes, it will enter into this one and it will delete this message. If this message is deleted, then it needs to be hidden from here. But at yes click even, we haven't done anything. If I long press on this, if I click on no, I'm going to dismiss this dialog. So I click on no and this dialog will be dismissed. Now I'm going to code inside this one. Whenever this one is clicked on selected yes, then I want to delete the particular message. For that, we are simply going to create a Firebase database object. So Firebase database is equal to Firebase database dot get instance. We got the instance of this one. After this, I'm going to take the string sender room is equal to, and I'm going to get the Firebase auth dot get instance dot get UID, that is the user ID, plus, and we got the receiver ID which is being passed from this chat detail activity. In the chat detail activity, we are passing the receiver ID over here when we creating the chat adapter. Okay, so now we got the receiver ID into this one, and we actually stored that receiver ID over here. Here you can see this. We have created the variable over here. We have created the constructor for this one. And if I move back into this one, and here it will create the unique ID which message we want to delete. Okay, after this, I'm just going to create, sorry, we got the instance of database. So database dot get reference dot the message is under child, that is chats, and chats dot child, and it will be under sender room dot child. Inside this one, I'm going to pass this message model dot get message ID and dot set value to null, like this one. Now the delete operation is done. If I click on yes this time, this will delete the message. So if I move back, I'm going to start it in the multiple devices. Just open it, and this one also. It will click on this. Okay, so Gradle build is running and installation is done on the both devices. Move back into this one, long press this, click on S, and here you can see this. Now this one is removed. If I move back into this one, here we have this edge. Okay, so I'm going to collapse these all and just open the chats, open these and these. Okay, so at the both end, at one end we have 4 and at one end we have 5, because we have deleted message from one end, from the sender end, but we haven't deleted at the receiver end. So if I delete this one, long press this and click on yes, it will, here you can see this one is red. Now it will be removed. If I send a message from here, hey, it will be sent and it will be received. At the same time, here you can see this, it's added in the both end, at the sender and the receiver. So if I delete from the receiver end, it will be deleted from only from the receiver end, not from the sender end. Here you can see this, we have hey over here, and we have deleted the hey from the receiver end. So if I click on this, And if we click on yes, now this one is deleted from the receiver and the sender is as well. So this one is working fine. And here you can see this. If you have the time issue over here, then you have to just move back into this one, that is the chat adapter, and here we have to fix the time issue. Inside this one, we have to write few line of code so that we can set the time. If you want to set the time with the date, so you can also do that. If I move back into this, I'm going to create a date object. So date, you have to just simply click Alt Enter, import class, just click on this, Alt Enter, not like this, it's date, not data. Date is equal to new date, and so this one we have to pass the message models dot get timestamp. I'm going to get the timestamp, the message model. If I enter into this one, timestamp, okay, we have the getter and setters for that. I get timestamp. If I move back into this one, and we have message models over here on the top. Yeah, we have this message models. This is an array list actually, that's why it's not, we can't able to fetch from it. It will be message model in capitals. Message model dot, okay, message model dot get, it's actually message model, it's not models. So I'm going to remove this yes over here, and dot get timestamp dot get, we got the timestamp. Yeah, that's it. After this, I'm going to create and convert into a, with the help of simple date format, this one, and it will be simple date format is equal to new simple date format. Inside this one, we have to pass the pattern, what type of, what type you want the date or time. If you want it in the 24-hour format, or if you want it in AM and PM format, if you want the date when this message is sent and when this one is received. So I'm going to first set this to 24-hour format, so hour and second also. After this, I'm going to just pass this string, and I'm going to create str date, and it's equal to simple date format and dot format, and we have to pass the date like this one. Finally, we have to set into this one. Let me just open that. That is fragment, not fragment, layout, sample sender. If I open this, and here, or not this one, into this layout, we have this sender, and inside this one we have two text views. One is for time. Yeah, here you can see the sender time. So we are going to set that into this one. So if I close this, if I move back over here, and we have to simply copy and paste it. This one is sender message, so I am going to change this one to sender time. So sender time dot set message. If I restart the application at the both end, if I open the application, and this one, okay, so we got something wrong. So we got the message over here, so we need to actually get the, we have to set the str date dot to string. So restart application once again. We got the message and we set the message at the time, so that's why this is wrong. Okay, so I've restarted the application, and this time if I open ABC and ABCDD, here you can see that this is in the 24-hour format, 13, 26 and 54 seconds when this message is sent. And at the receiver end, it's in the AM PM format. So if you want to change this one to AM PM format, then you have to simply change this to H colon mm space a. If I restart the application, now we will see that it will be in the AMPM format. Here you can see this 1:26 p.m. and here it's 1:16 p.m., 12:56 p.m. Here you can see this. This one is being set. Okay, so this 12:56 is by default time which I have set in these hard coded. Okay, that's why it's showing this time. But this time is the original time which we are going to set right now. So what I'm going to do is, next thing, if you want to set the date also, so for that you have to simply write like this one. So we have to write like this, like y dash month dash and day. If I restart the application, let's check what will happen now. This time you can also see the date, that is 15/6/2021, and time is also over here. So if you want only time, then you can just delete this much part and just keep it. So the date over showing over here is the hard coded text. Here you can see this, for everyone this 12:56 is visible. So I'm going to set the same text for the receiver also. So I'm going to just copy this much part and move back into this one and paste it over here, and here we have to change the sender to receiver view holder like this one, and just change this one to receiver time, and this one is good. And now everything is good. Now restart the application and move back into this one, and let's check if this one is working or not. So if I click on this, okay, we haven't chatted with this user, so just back and click on this, and here you can see this 1:56. And if I click on ABC, now the time is different. If I type hi, send it, 1:44 it's being sent, and at 1:44 p.m. it's being received. So now this one is working. So everything we have done, we have set the delete on this one, long press on this, and it will ask for the user to delete, yes and no. We have set how this one is, how to send the text from one user to another user, and at the same time the synchronization is also being done, and how to store those data in the Firebase database. And I have also shown you how to set the real time date and how we have extracted this time from the timestamp. Okay, so if I move back into this one, here you can see this, from message model we have actually extracted the timestamp which is being stored with the message. So if I click on this, here we have this timestamp. With the help of this timestamp, we are converting this timestamp to date and time date, and we are going to format this into a particular format, that is of AM and PM format. Then we have converted that and stored it as a string, and finally we have passed it as a, we have actually set that in the sender time. Okay, so it's already in the string format, that's why this method is not required. You can also delete it, it will work totally fine because we have already stored this variable in the string format. Okay, so now everything is working. That's it for this video, guys. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to work on this group chat. Here you can see this, we have this group chat. If I click on this, for now only toast message is visible, but in the next video I'm going to add a new activity for the group chat, and we are going to perform the chat operation on that one. So that's it for this. Just subscribe, like, and share with your friends.